This is ODQ, and today I had an idea to highlight a Ranger root that some people might misunderstand a little bit, but it can be very useful. That's Vinelash Assault or Vinelash. There's a lower version of it. This one's a level 98 spell, and it's got a pretty good debuff on it. I mean, bonus, whatever. The bonus to the Fluster and Bluster bolts are the physical, and this is 85. I believe this is 90. Yeah. Okay, that's rank 2. This is rank 2, and this is 98. It's a little higher than even Bluster bolt, and this generally, I don't think it really gets resisted that often. I can't remember it getting resisted very much at all. Anyway, but let's go through this, shall we? The target, it says beam. That means from your character going straight out, it's going to have this effect going out. You do not have to have anything targeted for this to go off, right? And when it goes out, it's going to go out in a sort of in a cone, kind of skinny cone. It doesn't get super wide, but it's definitely a bit of a cone. The farther away within the range of this effect it goes, does it mention a range? No, you just kind of get used to the range. I don't really see where it has oh, there it is right here. Okay, the range is 150, and evidently it's modified by something I got. Maybe one of my pieces of gear or AA or something to 191. Okay, that's roughly, I'm going to say roughly about a little more than half of the range of your bow, roughly. Oh, probably less. I don't want to do the math. Don't make me do the math. But it's a decent range, okay? And as it goes farther out, it's going to go out into like a bit of a cone, okay? And it has a pushback assigned to it of 2. The other route, because I have a lineup, it's all the same spells except for this one difference, this third route. This lineup I named Combat Vinelash, and that's when I have the Vinelash in. This one right here is the lower level spell, 70, and there's no rank 2. I looked it up. Last time I mentioned this route, I said, hey, look it up yourself. Hey, I'm a nice guy. I did you a solid. I looked it up, and you can take my word for it. There's no rank 2 for Eldar's Grasp, okay? You're welcome. So the pushback on this one's 4, a little bit more than this, but you see the pushback on these is 16. So, it's not much of a pushback, but it's enough of a pushback, actually. It will interrupt spells, if the mob's a caster, that they might be doing. Now, if the mob is doing an ability, I don't know. That might be something that could be your homework to look that up. The difference between mob abilities and caster mobs that are casting spells, if abilities can be interrupted. It probably depends on the type of the ability it's doing. So that's sort of anyway, but it's still an advantage, right? You got a little bit of a pushback, if it's casting something, you got a chance it's going to interrupt it and stuff. So that's good. This is a lot weaker route. But if you're in a group and they're nervous about you using Vinelash because of getting unintended consequences from it, just switch to this lineup with this route here. And if you really need to use it, you could use it. And if nothing else, the pushback will still count even if it resists the route. And that might be able to help in certain situations. You never know, right? A lot of times with this one, when you try to cast lower level roots on really high level mobs up in over 120 or something, like in this zone here, a lot of mobs are 122, 123, stuff like that. It's this is not dependable at all. This right here works a lot better. Anyway, so the Vinelash, Vinelash is situational. The cooldown on the spell bar here is a little more. Let's go back to the other one. I think this is 5 seconds. Yeah, it's about 5 seconds, right? Let's put the other one in there, see what the difference is. It's like 7 or 8 seconds for this one, 5 seconds for the Elder's Grasp. So, and this right here, well, it's already up here. So it says it's a 1.5 second cast. Eldar's Grasp is a slower cast, so there's that. Anyway, but with Vinelash Assault, it's what I've done. I've modified my bar down here, and the bluster bar here. I took this out. I did have it set up differently where I had this in there, and so I have this in twice to kind of cover CYA my CYA myself. So when you first starting from scratch, it's going to cast this. Then it's going to cast this. There's a casting time to this one, so it's not going to touch this. And this is already burnt, because it'll be down. This doesn't matter. As the time goes on, especially if it's a longer fight and you're rooting repeatedly, I just wanted to make sure that I had access to the AA route. At if this was down when I cast this, so there's that. A lot of the time when I cast this is down, and then I'll cast this. I have a manual control over here on my 5 button for Vinelash, and that is preferable to me. It's an upgrade to how this button was working. I was making it work, but it was a little sloppy, and this is how it goes. And shots, it's the same, I think. I'm not going to do a big update to every button I have. I never leave things the same, no matter what character I'm playing completely. Well, my Necro might be a little bit of an exception, but I'm kind of getting to know my Ranger once again, so it's just what it is. So I'm going to let them go by, and I'm going to show you what the advantage of Vinelash can be. Right here. Oh crap. Well, it can still work. So we're going to Vinelash these puppies to start off, and then we're going to go. All right, so I got 2. So that one over there, let's say we want to add that one in. So you do this, and you kind of get them over. Hit the 4 button by mistake, and then you Vinelash again, and crapola. Get away from me, you jackass. All right, there we go. And just through surviving and rooting it, I mean, look at it, he's almost dead already because I have the auto shot on, right? So when you are doing this technique, I would suggest that you always target the closest mob if you are headshotting more than one mob at the same time. So, as you can see, it's kind of manageable, right? This is one use for Vinelash that is very nice. If you're nervous about one of them kind of running out, you can redo them again. See, they're pretty far out, and that root is still hitting them. And it's hitting both of them because, again, it goes out in a cone. It's kind of a skinny cone, but it's still... The more you use it, the easier, or the more you can kind of anticipate. Now, if you want... Look, where's another one? and you can just add. You know, you can have full control over what's going on. You might have to move a little bit, you know. I missed him, little punk ass. All right. Wow, man, that was bad language. Sorry about that. Let me get over here again. Hey, quit moving. Anyway, so that's kind of an example. You know, you got to be active and do some stuff, right? The other mob in the distance is still getting rooted, so it is still maintaining. It's staying. It's not going to regen or anything like that. And incidentally, you see I kind of moved a little bit when I was casting the root. You can turn while you're casting it, and sometimes you might need to make sure you hit all the mobs that you're trying to hit. Because when you cast the spell, I'm really talking loud. Anyway, cast the spell, Vinelash, it does the Vinelash or root effect after the spell completes. See right there, it missed because I turned away before the casting effect was done, and it didn't root either one of those. And let me see if I can. And see, it rooted there. I wasn't lined up perfectly that time, but you know, so the root effect will take effect, will do its thing at the completion of casting the spell. So, you know, you can reposition a little bit, you know, if you're moving a little or whatever, to kind of group up mobs so you can do the Vinelash. You know, sometimes if you want to stay in one area and you don't want to run around too much, you just pull mobs to where you're at, then you Vinelash them, gather them up in a little group, and you know, then you're good to go, you know. So there you go, that's Vinelash. And for your headshotting pleasure, I guess, you know, it's just it's a neat little spell. It's a nice tool in our arsenal. I hope they do a upgrade to it the next X pack we have. This is the Outer Brood X pack. Although this zone I'm in is the Lorien Song zone of Timoris Falls. See, Timoris Falls right there. And this right here is a really good place to headshot. I like this area here. There's plenty of targets. I avoid the Calloused Woodsman because those are placeholders for a rare that I don't feel like messing with. I'm still working on getting all my AAs up. Currently, right now, I'm trying to save up my AAs to be able to get the Synergy Current, which is kind of nice to have. Although, you know, I'm just trying to get the most expensive AAs done first. Because the lower cost AAs, it feels like they go quicker, you know, and they do because they don't cost as much. So there we are, Vinelash Assault for you. This is Elwood EQ and happy rangering. That was stupid. Don't listen to that.